this is the way it works, and this is retail.
Welcome back to TMZ Live, and this is a stunning number I'm about to share with you about retail sales. Obviously, we know what what all businesses have been going through over the last year now because of the pandemic. But they are actually expecting, there are numbers that say they expect retail sales to grow this year between 6.5% and 8%.
That's incredible.
How in the world is that going to happen? And hey, let's celebrate it. It's a great thing if it happens. But there is a reason. There's something that's changing in the industry, in the retail industry. So to discuss that is our good buddy Daymond John, because that's who we go to follow the money. Daymond, welcome back, man. Good to see you.
Hey, Daymond.
Good seeing you. Thanks for having me.
How is that?
How is this happening?
Well, what you're starting to see is a lot of collaborations now. The concept of what's happening is not necessarily new, but the level of brands getting together is new. So let's follow the money. You look at somebody like an Apple who could put up all these large stores, and they're not necessarily, they don't know if you're going to get to all of them. And what they're going to do is now they're going to put stores in, I believe they're going to put stores in Targets. So they're going to put in stores in Targets. Now, Sephora is going to do the same thing with Kohl's here, and you got Ulta, is coming to Target. Now, I want people to follow money on this. Now, this is not new. You look at clothing brands, they've all been in there. You look at fragrances, they've been in there. But a lot of times now you have frenemies coming together, because Apple generally wanted people to go to their Apple store or maybe, a Best Buy, but they're building out stores. Now, retailers, here's what they really do. They sell space. That's all they sell. Your product needs to move, and they basically look at you by cubic square foot in the area, or linear square foot, whatever the case is. When you see somebody say they're going to be in Macy's windows, when FUBU was super hot, we had to pay $20,000 per window per month, and you had to take a minimum of 4 windows. When you roll out and you see all those people that have fragrances, yeah. Absolutely. When you see somebody, when you go through one of those stores, and you see the girls or the men with the fragrances, every brand is paying up to $25 an hour for that person to stand there. It's not the retailer, because the fragrance, the juice only costs $1, but the bottle costs $80. So now you have to have yourself in a window. You have to have yourself at that time when they had magazines going out. You had to take an ad in. You had to have the blow-in cards where you got to smell it, and you had to pay for those individuals to stand there. So the people, a lot of times you see in companies, in these department stores, they're being paid by the brands. And if you don't step up and pay for them, they tell you, put all your stuff on wheels, because we will roll it out the back door the minute you stop paying for it. But now you're seeing a lot of big brands in there, where a person like me, when I was a small brand, I had to pay to get it in there. And all of a sudden, even if it didn't sell, the buyers got really religious. They used to mark it down and roll it out. But you're not going to have that happen with the big companies like Apple and Sephora.
Well, I can see this 2 ways. On the one hand, it's a really interesting way of kind of, combining resources and really pushing your products out. But there's another way you could look at that. This is a retreat where brick and mortar is suffering so badly, and people have been now used to, for the last year, buying everything pretty much online, that this is retreating and trying to make it work in kind of a collaborative kind of business.
Your brick and mortars.
This is called frenemies, right? You have people who used to compete against each other saying, we're both suffering, let's get together, because your store doesn't have traffic and I don't want to build more stores. I'm going to tell you right now, wherever Apple's going to be placed and Sephora is going to be placed, it's just like the bread and the milk at the grocery store. It's never up front. It's as far in the back as possible, because you got to walk by all the other products and brands and maybe buy something when you just came in there for bread, eggs, or milk. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to bring people into the stores.
Daymond, I never, ever realized that. I mean, it's so, as soon as you said it, I was like, wait. Because I just went grocery shopping last night, and it is, you got to go to the back of the store, one corner of the store.
You got to follow the money, because by the time you get back, you got some Skittles, you got soda, you got everything you don't need by the time you get to the counter. And then they got the more tempting things right at the counter. Well, let me pick up some bubble gum. Let me pick up that magazine. This is the way it works, and this is retail.
I'm going to take a different approach to my grocery shopping.
Charles,
this has opened up a whole... No, because
he's never been to a grocery store in his life.
No, I literally went last night I had 3 things on my list: milk, bread, sugar. and somehow I left with more than $100 worth of groceries. So it worked.
Hey,
Yeah, that's the key. That's the key.
Daymond, when you come back next Friday, can we talk about Charles's diet?
Well, Charles looks great. I have no right to talk about Charles's diet. You know, I haven't been to the gym in so long. I'm starting to call the gym James. That's the problem. So I really am. You know, I can't say anything about either one of you guys. I gotta get in shape.
Oh God. David, thanks so much, man. Now he's doing stand-up comedy for us, man. That was a good one.
Not bad. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
So, you know, I always say you should never stop trying to learn new things. So I hope you learned something new from that video. Now, if you're ready to level up and hear from business experts every week, give this video a like, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you soon.